Good morning. A beautiful good morning. It's Saturday, and believe it or not, I know it seems longer. Well, it seems longer for me, but it is exactly 1 week since I made a video. It's a beautiful morning. Blessed morning. And over the past week, I've been working on the land, in the cottage, mostly here on the land, in the woodland. And I'll show you what I've been doing. Well, a little bit of what I've been doing. Because as you know, I sort of go hither and thither in my work. Because I am my own mistress, I don't have to abide by the clock, the man-made clock. I go very much with the light and the day that's in it. I stay well away from the craziness of that man-made matrix. There's the MSM and the MMM. Oh gosh. So, I've been down here. Now this isn't the pond, you see. It's a very old ditch. This ditch would have been constructed perhaps, I don't know, it could be several hundred years ago from the way the stonework goes. Because of course the people then wouldn't have had the money or even the availability really of land pipes and drainage pipes. So they very cleverly and creatively and beautifully constructed little stone underground ditches. Now you can see over there the water stops at an old stone. And there's a lot of water going into this. See, it's pouring away downhill. Gravity going down, down. Doesn't appear to be moving much, but it's actually all going over there. And I'll show you where it's coming out as well. There's Mr. Nosy Parker, little Robin. Oh, he's gone behind the tree now. So, excuse me. So I came down along the land about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I came along here, and this ditch here was very dry. All this is dry. And I thought, oh, there's obviously a little drain that's still working there. And then just up past this beautiful tree, I'm just going to pull back and show you. You can see some of the habitat piles where I've been cutting brambles and stacking them. This beautiful, beautiful goat willow, which is quite magnificent really. It is simply beautiful. Simply beautiful. That's a rare thing, isn't it, in this world today? Simply beautiful. But this, as you can see, grew out over the ditch. And years of leaves and brambles and ivy and honeysuckle all growing up stopped the flow. So you can see this part of the ditch is still low. You see? Up here it's quite high because it's become silted up. But you can see up there, the water is now flowing. Now the day before yesterday, when I finally got this ditch cleared and found a little way through the tree without having to cut anything, I don't want to be cutting trees, so I found a little way through the tree. The water level was actually right up here. And just over the past 48 hours, even though it's been raining really hard, the water level has dropped. And even though the water is still banking up there, it's dropped considerably. Now I'm going to show you where this little drain comes out. And it's amazing, you know, how you can really get to know your land. There's the young fella over there, look. Keeping watch for me. He always sits a little distance away, just keeping watch, guarding me. So if you look at this beautiful, beautiful goat willow. Now, just deviating for a moment, I have been asked, were there any trees on the property when you first bought it? Yes, there were a few, but mostly over in the fairy wood, because that part of the land was inaccessible. A lot of brambles, and I mean brambles. And these beautiful goat willow trees that you see now, they were just part of an old hedgerow. So they were kind of, how would one describe them? Sort of scrub, you know, they were sort of scrubby type bushes, not quite a bush, not quite a tree, not quite anything. But of course I've allowed them to grow, and they've grown into magnificence. And, you know, I've often said there were no ferns here. Now there's ferns everywhere. It's become almost like a fernery, you know. So I'm going to take you over. There's a little robin. There he is, look down there. Oh, there he is. He says, I like it when Colette comes out because there's always little tidbits come up to the surface. So, yeah. So basically, in line with this tree, I'm going to show you where the water goes from here, almost in a straight line, and comes out into the pond. Because I've dug out little trenches just to simply guide that water. So my cup's down there. I'm just going to pick that up and leave it out in the driveway so that I don't forget it. So I'll just pull back and show you from a distance how this is looking. Jack says, where are you going, Mum? So, by working on this area, I think what I've done, without even giving it a thought, I've created another simply beautiful part of the land where I can make a little bench or something. I'll have to get to work and make a few little benches. So I'll wind and wend my way out here onto the little woodland path. So I've got a bit more cutting back to do in here because I really want to not so much tidy it up as just keep the brambles at bay because they can take over, and I don't ever go digging them out. I don't see the point in digging anything out. I think if you want to get rid of something, like brambles, you know, plant something else and just keep the brambles at bay. Of course, there's a fair bit of weekly, sometimes even daily work involved in that. But I'm a very fortunate person because I don't regard it as work. For me, it's almost like play. I just get so involved in the whole process. I work away and my mind is quite free then, you know, to go on its own little journey. So I'm just coming around the other side of that old ditch. And this is the tree here, where the little stone drain begins. So it would sort of run underneath this land. So I'm going to keep to very much a straight line. I'll show you then. Look, there we go. Can you see this little stream? Look at this. Look at the water just sort of pumping out of here. So now the way that I've got this working again is it doesn't look much down there, and you can see some of the water is pooling up there. That's because there's a lot of flow on it at the moment. But when you look at how forceful that water is, and it's just going straight into the pond. It's beautiful clean water. It's been cleansed by the earth. Well, I don't think it needed cleansing really. It was just rain that fell, drops down through the trees, over the stones in the earth and deep down into the soil. And there we go, I've got an old ditch working again. You can see up there, look, there's the tree, almost in line with this little yew tree that I grew in a pot quite a few years back. It's taken a long time to get established there, but now that it is, of course, it'll just keep growing. So I'll walk out this way now towards the other side of the pond, and we'll have a look back. Yes, indeed, it's a beautiful day. Look at all the little bird feeders going. I need to chop them up though. And now, with the light reflecting off it, you get a good view of the stream. So I'm continuing to work on that stream. There's a lot more work to be done before it becomes like an independent, leave it alone, let it flow stream. But I'm about halfway through the project now, so I'm beginning to see real results. And there's that beautiful water flowing off there. And now look, again you can see the reflection of the early morning sun just on the water, and you can see the amount of water that's really gustily flowing into the pond. So that's really quite a good example of permaculture practice, because it really is about observation and working things out from your observations, and also honing your intuition. It's hugely important. And when you look further up there, you can see the stream that flows into what is fast becoming the old pond. I just walk up the driveway now. There's a big storm here. Big storm hit. Must have been a couple of days ago. As usual, it came in just as darkness was descending. So it was pretty terrifying, you know, because it sounded like it was just going to take everything away with it. So I come out the next morning with a few little bits of dead wood on the driveway, and my wooden seat had been blown backwards, kind of caught in the trees. It was only partially upended. That was it. Again, Bealtaine Cottage survived intact. See, there's still some leaves on the hazel over there. I think the hazel trees are probably one of the last trees to lose their leaves. They seem to hold on to them really well. And the beech, of course. So, that's a little bit of an update for you. Oh, yes, I would like to remind everyone about the calendar, and a little plea about the calendar, actually, because I know so many of you asked me, you know, whether I was going to be doing a calendar for 2021. It would be great if you could purchase a calendar, because I don't want to be left with lots and lots of 2021 calendars. So there is a link below the video to the bookstore. And talking of books, yes, I'm working away writing. That's what I do mainly at night, once it's dark and I come in from the woodland. But I'm going to keep that under wraps. I'll probably talk more formally about that round about Immock, I'd say. You can hear some water here in the ditch behind me. Normally only flows when there's been really heavy overnight rain. There's a wonderful silvery light now, just as we begin to descend to the midwinter and the solstice. You can see that beautiful bird's nest up there now. So blessings to you all. Oh, there's a little robin back in the tree there. Blessings to you.